Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mrs. Smith coming to you from my kitchen. I hope that you had a wonderful long break here with your family as we took Friday and Monday off, or maybe you were using those days to play catch up. But why I'm teaching you math today in my kitchen is because we are going over liquid measurements. You know, sometimes as we're going through our math series, it pauses and has us practice measuring. Well, this is where I use it all the time, and so I thought, why not better to come to you from my kitchen. Okay, in our workbooks today, we are on page 228. At the top, there is this handy dandy graphic organizer to help us remember how we're going to convert cups into gallons, or pints into gallons, or quarts into gallons. This here in front of me is a gallon of milk, empty though. I took it from my recycling bin. And I use this all the time while I'm baking and doing other things. Maybe we're hosting people at our house and I need a bunch of lemonade and I have a huge pitcher. I have to think, well, how much of this and that do I need? So you use it all the time here in the kitchen. So I'm just going to preview this diagram, and you've probably seen it before. I know when I taught third grade, we used it then. So 1 gallon is equal to 16 cups. Actually, let's start the other way. 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts, which is this size jar. 4 of these go into a gallon. 2 pints go into a quart. So pint jars, 2 of these would go into this quart, and 2 cups go into 1 pint. So I'm going to show you and prove to you that this is true, except for the last one, because I didn't want to waste that much water. Okay, so here we go. That graph was on page 228 in your math workbook. So we have 2 cups right here. This is a little can. 1, 2 cups is equal to 1 pint. Okay, and now I've got 2 pint jars here, and we're going to prove that that is equal to 1 quart. I found my jars with the wide rim on purpose, so I wouldn't spill too much here. So this is a quart, and 4 of these quarts, like we said, is equal to the gallon. So it would take 4 of this jar here to get us to finally our gallon of milk. Oftentimes, things that come in like a pint jar would be like creamer or half and half sometimes. So that was this size, the 2-cup jar. So sometimes the recipe doesn't even call for a whole pint. It might just say even 1 cup or a half a cup. And so that'll tell you, oh, what size do I need to buy when I'm at the store? So we're going to use this information now, and we're going to dig into our math workbooks, page 228. Please open up. Okay, thank you for jumping into your math workbook, page 228. We're starting at the top. So we just learned together that 1 pint equals 2 cups. How I can use my chart here in the corner is I can look over at it right here, 2 cups, 1, 2. So they have the nice drawing just like I did. Now let's look at quart. So I'm going to use that same quart, but now it's saying 1 quart is equal to how many pints? So a quart is the Q here. So we're going to see how many pints. 1 pint, 2 pints. So there's 2 quarts in a pint. Now in a half gallon, so a half gallon would be half of this gallon. How many quarts are in a half gallon? So how many Q's? 1, 2. So there are 2 quarts. Now, how many are in the full gallon? So we already had 2 from before and 2 more. Maybe you guys buy that half gallon of milk at your house. Okay. So now we're going to continue on converting those charts at the bottom for our number 1. So we've got 4 different tables to fill in here. So in this video, you can't see that diagram and that information that we just finished at the top of the page. So you have your math workbook open and you can please follow along here. So how many cups are in 1 pint? Well, when I look at the top, I see that there's 2 C's in that 1 P. So we're gonna look at that. Okay, so now we just have to think. So you can count at the top, how many pints are in 2 cups this time? Well, I'd look at the P's on top. I count 1, 2 in the first P, 1, 2 in the second P. 2 plus 2 is 4. Please fill in 3 pints and 5 pints and pause this video. Okay, welcome back. Thank you for pausing. So in 3 pints, there were how many cups? Please answer this question. In 5 pints, there are 5 times 2 is 10, even though our pictures don't show us 10 pints. Okay, so now this one's the tricky one. 1 times 2, that's essentially our equation there, equals 2. So now, right, with our fact families, what times 2 gave us 16? Or when our fact families, we would go 16 divided by 2 equals question mark. Okay, so 16 divided by 2 is what? Or 2 times what is 16? And the answer is 8. Okay, so now this time we're going to convert quarts into pints. So when I look at the chart at the top, I see that there are 2 pints in every quart. So we're going to use that, so times 2 again, to fill in number 2, 3. At 14 here, they are trying to trick us just like before. Well, not trick us. What do we need to remember? We need to remember to go back and what times 2 equals 14. Okay, so I would like you to pause this video, try on your own, and then fill in the table. Okay, welcome back. Thank you. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 14 divided by 2 is how much, or what times 2 is 14? Well, that would be 7. 9 times 2 is 18. 13 times 2 is 26. If you needed to figure out the math, just like I did on the side, you are welcome to do that. Okay, now at the bottom here, we are looking at gallons and quarts. We are also looking at quarts and cups. So before we move on, I would like you to pause your screen and figure out how many quarts are in 1 gallon. So you're gonna solve for you're gonna help us figure out what rule. So times what and times what to get our answer for how many quarts are in 1 gallon and how many cups are in 1 quart. Please pause this video now and resume once you've figured that out. Okay, so remembering that the Q in our chart stands for quarts, G for gallons, C for cups, P for pints. Okay, so you found by looking up and counting at that chart that there are 4 quarts in a gallon and 4 cups in a quart. So our rule is just times 2 and times 2. Okay, oops, not times 2, sorry, times 4, excuse me, times 4. Okay, please pause this video and see if you can solve for the rest on your own. Okay, so in C here, number 1 on page 228 in our math workbooks, We found out that 1 times 4 is 4, 2 gallons is equal to 8 quarts, 3 gallons is equal to 12 quarts, 9 gallons is equal to 36 quarts, and 15 gallons is equal to how much? So if you didn't get that, I want you to add all of that. So I did 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15. I think I said that 4 times. So I'm going to have you right now in our video answer the question. Tell me 15 times 4 equals how much? Welcome back. Thank you for answering that question. Okay, so now we're back over here on B. 1 times 4 is how much? And continue on filling in this chart. Pause this video, please, and then unpause when you've finished. Let's see if you can even solve this bottom one. That's tricky here. 1 divided by 4 equals what? Or 40 divided by 4 equals what? So when you're done, unpause this video and check your answers. Okay, welcome back to B. So at the top we here have 1 quart is equal to 4 cups, 3 is equal to 12 cups, 5 is equal to 20 cups, 6 quarts is equal to 24 cups. Now I'm going to have you tell me 40 divided by 4 equals how many quarts? So 40 cups is equal to how many quarts? Another way to look at it is what times 4 is 40. If you need to, in the corner, draw 4 circles, count to 40, and then count up how many is in each circle if you don't already know that answer. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. But make your circles a lot bigger so you have enough space. Okay, question number 2 says, Trisha has a container with capacity larger than 2 cups but smaller than 1 gallon. Which of these could be the container's capacity? A cup, a pint, a quart, a gallon? I'm going to use our study skills that we have learned to eliminate answers. Okay, so we already know that if it's larger than 2 cups, it can't be a cup. Okay, if it's smaller than a gallon, okay, well then it can't be a gallon either. So that leaves us with pint or quart, larger than 2 quarts. So we're going to go up to the top here of our chart and look and see what could potentially be options. Okay. Larger than 2 cups would be, it could either be pint or quart. Well, in here we're noticing that 2 cups is equal to 1 pint. So it can't be pint, which leaves us with our best option of quart. So quart is our answer. Number 3, Sue and her sister Cindy have a lemonade stand. They want to make 8 gallons of lemonade, 8 gallons. They only have one quart containers. So how many 1 quart containers will they need to hold 8 gallons of lemonade? 8 gallons equals blank quarts. So we need to think, okay, so quart, there are 4 quarts in a gallon. So 4 times how many gallons total? 4 times 8 equals our answer. So please answer this next question on our Quizlet. Okay, now we're jumping over to page 229 in our workbook, and at the top we see this lovely chart to help us as we're answering the questions below. Okay, please solve number 4 here on our Ed puzzle before we continue on any further. Number 4 in our ed puzzle, please. Okay, so we are going to look at number 5 now. In 2012, the city of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, set a record for building the world's largest working fondue pot. The pot holds 275 gallons of melted cheese. So how many pints in this? Well, 275 times. So how many pints are in a gallon? Look back on page 228. Count your pints. Okay, so is 8 pints. So 275 times 8. Now we're going to solve this together. So 8 times 5 is 40. 0 on the bottom, 4 on the top. Okay, 7 times 8 is 56, plus 4 more is 60. I'll do the 6 on the side. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 2 is 22. So 2,200 pints. Now, I would like you to pause number 6, answer that after you are done. So pause the video and then answer number 6 on your own. Mr. Lee ordered 45 pints of milk for the 4th grade party. There are 96 4th graders and each is supposed to get 1 cup of milk. Did Mr. Lee order the correct amount of milk? So that's a simple yes or no. If so, the meaning explain. If you thought yes, you're going to explain why you think it's correct. If not, how many pints of milk should have been ordered? So please fill in your answers on the ed puzzle. We are going to work out what Daphne and Jordan did in number 7. Here we go. Daphne and Jordan make jam to sell at the market. Their jam is sold in pint-sized jars. They made 137 quarts, but only sold 59 quarts. So how many pint jars are left? We need to break this equation apart here in order to help find these answers. Okay, so we're needing to figure out how much there is left. So if they had 137, that means that we would be minusing because we're trying to figure out how much is left. So we would just continue to subtract here. Can't take 9 from 7, so we need to borrow from the 3, make it a 2. This becomes 17. 17 minus 9 is 8. That's a 2. Can't take 5 from 2, so that becomes a 0, and we're borrowing. Now that becomes a 12. 12 minus 5 is 78. But hang on, we are not done with our answer. We want to know how many jars. A jar is sold as pint size, not quarts. So we need to think 78 quarts is equal to how many pints? Okay, so if we look at our cue, 2 pints is equal to a quart. So that means our equation is just going to change from 78 here. We're going to divide by 2. Or you could think of it as 2 times what is 78. Okay, so 2 can go into 7 how many times? Well, I know that 2 can go into 7 3 times. Maybe I'll use a different color here. 3 times, which is 6. So 2 times 3 is 6. Or I mean, sorry, 70. 2 can go into 78 30 times. So 78 minus 60, because 2 times 30 is 60, leaving us with 18. Okay, so 2 can go into 18 how many times? 9 times, so we're going to go plus 9. 18, 2 times 9 is 18. There are none as a remainder, so our answer is 9, is 30 plus 9. 30 plus 9 is equal to 39. So our answer for that is 39. So there's a lot of steps, and it took me a lot of scratch things. And so as you were working that out too on your paper in your book, it maybe took a little bit of space. Our last question of the day, James had a 3-quart water bottle. Eileen bought a 1-gallon jug. Whose container holds more cups? How many more cups does it hold? So you can please pause the video here and try to solve this and then answer the questions in our Ed puzzle. Okay, so James had 3 quarts, which is equal to 12 cups. I think it's Eileen had 1 gallon, which is equal to 16 cups. So who had more? Eileen. By how much more did she have? Well, 16 minus 12 is 4 cups. So you should have come up with 4 cups. And there you have it. You have finished our math lesson for the day. I hope you have a great rest of your day and that you are doing well. We miss you. Bye.